We want to thank everybody for coming. I think we gave everybody about 12, tried to put 12 quarts in a 10-quart pail. Probably ran over the ground a lot, but we do appreciate you coming. We do appreciate your interest. I would recommend, if you are interested in bees, if you sat through this and you still think you want bees, I would by all means make some effort to get moving promptly. Because if you want bees, you're going to have to order bee packages, and you want to start putting together your woodenware, get ready for that. We will have a woodenware party in January, typically about the second or third weekend in January. It's a Saturday deal at the old meet in a heated garage, and everybody brings together one of their high bodies and some frames, and we show the way that we recommend putting the frames and high bodies together so that they will get together properly, get the handles on the outside and all that good stuff. That's about it. I appreciate it. Like I say, yes, question about it.
This is a general question. On the front of the Dan catalog,
Yes.
they must have 50 hives there in a small yard.
Look at it.
Is there a limit to the number of hives you can have?
Well, okay, let me tell you a secret about this. And they got into this about location. I live on about an acre of land, and I had 8 hives one time. Well, this is about our 8th year keeping bees. One year we had moved from 1 hive to 2 hives to 4 hives or whatever. Got up to about 8. And the problem is that 8 hives, I produced more honey with 3 hives than I did with 8 hives. Does that make sense? There's only so much natural foraging that's available. In order to have that many hives, you're going to have probably 5 acres of clover, or 5 acres of alfalfa, or a couple 3 acres of buckwheat, or something that you're going to have substantial amounts of foraging flowers to support that many hives. Because otherwise, it's not difficult to support that many hives in April, May, and June. But around here, typically in July and August, it gets pretty dry and there's not much bloom. This year being different. So if you're going to have that many hives, you're going to have to start feeding massively. It's not going to make economic sense to do that. So I would recommend, if you got an acre of land, I would pretty much look at 4 or 6 hives or something along that lines. And now if you have a lot of neighbors that have a lot of hardwood trees are good, pine trees are no good. None, not worth it all. So if you have a lot of hardwood trees, particularly popular, things like that, maples, red buds, things like that, they're a big plus. They don't have to be yours, they can be your neighbor's, patch of woods or whatever. Or if your neighbor has a farm and he raises all soybeans, what good's that? Soybeans don't do much for bees. But if he has pasture land and has horses on it, clover and thistle and all kinds of neat little plants, that could be a big plus. That would help. So you really got to look at what your environment's going to be able to support, and you can quickly overgraze it, so to speak. And you have no problem feeding your bees. Will do really well through June. Suddenly they all start starving, and numbers start dropping drastically. You're either going to have to massively feed them for the next 6 months, or I don't know. This year was very interesting. We had marigold, weeds, and all kinds of good stuff growing and blooming clear up through October this year. It was incredible. They actually had a fall honey crop around here. Well, typically we all live on the spring honey crop, April, May, June, harvest your honey at the end of May or June or July or sometime, and that's it. Then you just park the bees for the winter, or But this year was quite different. Maybe it'll be rainy next year, I don't know. Any other questions? Yes?
Would you like to talk about the mentoring program? It's not
Sure,
just,
yeah, let's talk
not
about
just
that.
Ashland, but other clubs in Richmond offer that as well, but I think it's important for people to
Mentoring is a pretty much one-on-one, hands-on experience. What we try to do and have done for the last several years is to the new club members that join our club in January or February are matched up with a club member who has at least 1 year experience, maybe 2 years experience, maybe less, maybe more. But he's going to geographically try to get somebody. We got people from Louisa, we got people from Alet, people from Verina, people from Bowling Green, and so you don't want to match somebody up that physically is too difficult for them to join up to go visit. Ideally, we like to have someone who is a mentor, who has a little bit of experience, and he would then, first of all, you would invite the new beekeeper over to his place and look at his bee yard in the very early spring, whenever, probably even before the student receives his packages or gets his bees. And then he would go over and visit the new set-up bee yard after the hive bodies are constructed and before they put the bees in there. He'd go over there, make maybe some recommendations or ideals. We had a student one time, he said he wanted to put his bees back there, and we were all saying, that's too far away. You can't walk that far every day, I mean, location's important, but, make it practical for yourself. So, anyhow, so that's first part of it. Then secondly, after you get your bees, hopefully the mentor will be able to either help you install your packages, and then maybe it's pretty much wait a while and see what happens program, because once your bees are installed, you're sitting there back just twiddling your thumbs, unless you want to go over and help him work on his bees a while. You get a lot of experience at that. Any other questions? But that's all set up in the first, we try to establish it in the first 2 months of the year, and by the third month we have assignments are made there. And it's typically a mentor, maybe have 2 or 3 students, 2 students generally. My
So
wife
if
and
you're
I kind of
interested
go
in
from one.
joining this,
Yes.
let's have the first meeting in January.
Our first meeting will be in January at the Town Council building. That's right across the tracks over here. Yes. Behind you?
With your 7 boxes, you should have done 2 things then, right?
Pardon?
When you had your 7 boxes, you should have taken money off twice that year then, instead of waiting.
Well, we had 7 or 8 hives, and the secret of beekeeping is making honey. And you can be a beekeeper and not make any honey.
When you had your 7 honey boxes full of honey, you
That year,
you could have done it, split that up that year, right? Instead of just kept stacking the boxes.
we just kept stacking them. It got the pride thing after a while. We're going for some sort of record here, folks. That was probably, a box of honey is probably like 25 pounds of honey. So that, was a lot of honey there. It's $8, $9 a jar. That was a cash crop there, but it's interestingly, the hives beside it. I don't know if you ever saw that picture, but the hives beside it had 1 super honey. Why do some bees here do such a good job of making honey, and the ones right beside it have 1 or 2 boxes, supers on it? Isn't that amazing? You don't know why. Although next year, or that fall, we had to raise some more bees. We wanted to expand our hives. Which hive we made our expansion from? We took her from the girl that had all the honey. She was a 3-year-old queen. People were saying that get rid of your queens after the first year and then get a new one the second year. That gal was a 3-year-old queen, and she knocked out 7 boxes, supers. You'd say it's all the queen's fate. Maybe it was, I don't know. She was a great queen. She was a green queen. I don't know, after a while you learn to paint queens. Painting queens, so like, oh my God, I'm gonna you're sitting there just shaking with a little brush and you're gonna dab her. Well, I dabbed her and my God, I painted the whole bee. She was so easy to pick out. She was painted from, her thorax, just a little spot there. She was about half her body was green. She was our big green queen, we used to call her. Yeah, I loved her. Yes, you got a question? Oh, yes.
Is it possible to like paint like a little crown on the queen?
You don't want to get paint on the fuzzy part, the hairy part. You want to get the back. The back has like a hard shell, and it's it's a little nifty. I mean, my father-in-law said, "Oh, you grab my leg, you stick your hand in there, hold the thumb, got some two of her legs in there, kind of dab her." No, we don't do that. We're too chicken. Now all I can say is just crushing this bee, So they make. You're looking Day-Dant little book. They got a little plastic tube. It's about 1.5 inches in diameter. Has a little piece of flexible plastic screening across the end, and a little plunger with a foam rubber pad on it. So the secret is to go up there and lay that little cylinder down over top of the queen. She could probably get her and about 3 other bees. Then you take an old card and slide it under the bees, and slide the tube over the top of the card. So now you have the card blocking the entrance to the tube, and you got your queen in there and 2 or 3 bees. Well, the queen suddenly, she always wants to run up. She runs up to the top, hangs on the screen. Then you just shake out the extra bees that are in, probably 2 or 3 extra bees in there. Take your little plunger and slide it up ever so carefully. And she'll roll over on her belly, and then you just kind of push her up against that plastic screen netting, and then you take your little paint dab and dab her. That's the easy way to do it. But it's almost foolproof. We did have one that fainted one time. True story. We take this queen out. There had 3 queens to mark that day. So we take the queen out, the first one, paint her, pull her out, and I said, "My God, she's dead." My wife and I are looking at her. She's laying there totally dead. So we laid her on top of the hive and trying to figure out what happened. Went on to mark the second one and the third one, which were her sisters. We had purchased 3 queens. And suddenly we see this, about 10 minutes later, one little leg kicking. We looked at her some more, and then the other legs were kicking. So my God, she's coming back to life. So we put her back in the hive, and she lived through it. I don't know what it was, because she just literally fainted. The people were saying, "Well, it must be the paint fumes." The other 2 didn't faint, Nobody else fainted that day. Well, anyhow, bees are just enjoyable. We love them. I got into bee. Let me say, one person asked me earlier, and I may answer this question. I got into bees because I was a salesman on the road traveling. I flew Alabama, or God knows, Georgia, out wherever. And so I didn't have a whole lot of time for a hobby on the weekends that I didn't have much time, just had my weekends. So bees were interesting because I could work bees one day, one week, one Saturday, and then not have to fool with them for maybe 2 or 3 more Saturdays. So it'd be different times of the year. March, April, May get really busy. You're dealing with bees practically every weekend, maybe March and April. May, things stretch it out longer and longer. And then by the time May and June comes by, you're in the hive maybe once a month. Just to check out and see, make sure you don't have any pests or anything else along those lines. So then the winter time comes along, you're not in there for 2 or 3 months at a time. Question?
I wanted to say one thing I forgot on the call. Just one thing.
You took more time than anybody else.
I don't know. I wanted to encourage you not to be afraid to try this and afraid to make mistakes, because we have learned more over the 8 years of our beekeeping from our mistakes than we've ever learned from what we did right. Because when we did something right, we didn't know if we were doing it right or the bees were doing it. But when we messed up, we figured it out. So we just consider mistakes and failures as learning experiences and move on from there. So.
All right. All right, I want to thank everybody. We're formally over, so if anybody has any questions, come on up and ask me personally. I will be happy to work with them.